intense
Yeah,
light
come
here.
come this way. Hi, Amy Elizabeth, somatic and intuitive healer here.
And I'm Kate. I'm the layperson. I try to better understand the informative words that pour forth from your mouth enthusiastically so that the rest of us can understand what it is you're trying to say.
Kate is playing down the fact that she's a communication specialist. So today we are live with full bellies and in a lovely November afternoon in our first 48 hours of Sagittarius season. And one of the things I kind of wanted to touch on today is the difference in the energies from Scorpio season to Sag season.
Okay. I didn't feel the difference. Have you felt the shifting?
I have felt the shifting.
Okay. And what did that feel like?
Well, Scorpio season is what we just left. We just moved into Sagittarius season yesterday morning, a few minutes after 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Are we Standard Time? Central Time. I'm just going to go with Central Time. And so adjust for your time zone. And when we look at a zodiacal year, which the new year actually starts with the Aries new moon, and then we have 13 dark moons or new moons that follow that. So we are at a point in the year in the process of what could also be looked at as a medicine walk shamanically, that we have just with Scorpio season finished our underworld journey.
Okay.
The Scorpio season is the entrance to the underworld journey.
Okay.
Scorpio is the only zodiac sign that has 3 different glyphs or 3 different representations that go with us, because Scorpio is really about metamorphosis.
Okay. And most people are familiar with the scorpion, but there's 2 others.
Yes. And to back up a little bit, the scorpion, as you brought up, is this instinctual, I'm just going to go down this path. I'm just going to do this way because this is what I know. There's a level of instinct to the scorpion. It is very emotionally driven because it's just working without any governance, we'll say.
Well, there might be some scorpions that differ with you on this point.
Scorpios or scorpions?
Probably both.
Well, the beauty is that we all have all 12 of the signs. So for those of us who were raised in the age of horoscopes, like the worst things ever.
I think you called it a horoscope.
A horoscope, which just looks at your sun sign. What it does is it discounts your moon. It discounts your rising and all of your other placements. And that, in fact, when you deal with a quality astrologer or you deal with quality astrology, you're dealing with the fact that we stand in the center of our chart. We are this hub with 12 spokes. So we have all 12 of these energies. So all of us have Scorpio energy, which in its high, we're gonna get to its highest, but first we're gonna visit in with the eagle. Okay. So we've got the scorpion, and then we've got the eagle, and it's a higher version. It's a more developed version, and the reason it is not the most developed version or the highest version of Scorpio, it's still considered a pretty low version of Scorpio, is it, like an eagle, soars above, takes everything in, gathers information, logics its way through it, and it is totally emotionally removed.
Okay.
So it has no connection. There's zero connection there. So just like the scorpion, we see you, big dog. The scorpion is emotional instinct. The eagle is logical instinct.
Okay.
So the scorpion doesn't have enough of the picture, right? Because it walks along the ground.
Right.
The eagle has much, much more of the picture, but both of they don't work together.
Okay.
The head and the heart are still divorced here, which brings me to the highest version, which is the phoenix. And the phoenix is the most elevated version of Scorpio because it is willing to live life so fully that it will burn itself down. And when we talk about Phoenix consciousness, Phoenix consciousness is exactly that willingness to live so fully with no consciousness of resurrection.
Okay.
The Phoenix doesn't know it's going to be reborn from its adventures. It is so in, and it understands here that the only path for its evolution is that head and heart are married. And I don't know about you, how you experience Scorpio season.
I think you do, because we experienced it together. But we'll pretend we don't know.
And I know I certainly saw from clients and everyone around me, this Scorpio season was rough. Yeah. It was rough on people. Everybody's wounds, everybody's fears, everybody's worst aspects were forward facing, hard forward facing. And the beauty of Scorpios, that's what we're called to do in Scorpio season. It is an underworld journey because we have a beckoning to go in and to go down and to go deep and to end up in our own personal basement. And the more we do this work, the deeper our basement gets, very honestly.
Yeah.
So you go to your deepest spot, and in that place, you crawl through and you find your fears and you find your icky qualities. And then you face them. You name them for what they are. You share them with the trusted people around you. Because there you have your Phoenix consciousness, sharing them, naming them, bringing them to light, strips them of their power.
Okay.
And it's not that they still won't come up and, oh my God, I'm not enough. I'm never going to be enough. And they're still going to be there. But every time we look at them, every time we name them, they become less powerful. Yeah. They shrink. So Scorpio season is that. It's living so fully that we actually approach the things that scare us. We actually give it a name. And in naming things, we take their power. Yeah. And Scorpio season comes prior to Sagittarius season.
Okay. So what are we looking forward to in Sag?
Boundlessness, optimism.
Yay! Something positive after our dark journey.
All the good things. Well, and the positive after the dark journey is if you face your messy, you go through a metamorphosis.
Okay.
You shift and you elevate. You move closer to the vibrancy and the magnetism of the Phoenix. Rather than rolling around in Scorpio's really messy traits, which are manipulation and jealousy and obsession and control and blah, 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 vampire, blah, blah.
She saw Hotel Transylvania on the last airplane that we went to on the last plane ride. So she really internalized it and brought it home.
I did. I'm owning it. So Sagittarius season here in the upper Midwest, one of the things that marks the shift from Scorpio season to Sag season is fall. Like
with the end of fall.
You get all these beautiful colors. But oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes by the time Sag season rolls around, the trees are bare. And for those of us that live here, we understand the close, protected, heldness of foliage. And suddenly when we don't have it anymore, we can see further, which is so Sagittarius. When we go through the metamorphosis that Scorpio invites us to engage in, we enter Sagittarius season with more space within ourselves to better meet the space outside of us that's been created. And so Scorpio, ruled by Mars traditionally, when Pluto was discovered in the 1930s, Pluto took rulership there. Both of them fit really great. Mars and his rulership there meets Scorpio from a place of, I'm going to shake things up. I'm going to stir things up. because what he's looking to do is redistribute energy.
Okay.
And in the redistribution of that energy, there's a transformation that takes place, right?
Mhm.
If we move stuff around, it shifts the energy in the space. So Mars is activating this.
Okay. So how might people see this in their day-to-day?
How might people see this in the day-to-day with Mars, with
Mhm.
Scorpio?
And well, with Sag, how does this come up in Sag?
The shift.
Yeah.
When you move the things around,
Mhm.
right? I'm
Mhm.
thinking about, we're still unpacking. And as we unpack, we're finding stuff that, well, why do we have this?
Yeah.
What do we need?
Mhm.
So we're digging deep,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
We're unpacking things,
Mhm.
literally unpacking things. We're asking the question, does this suit our transformed life?
Mhm.
It doesn't suit our transformed life anymore. So we are on our local Buy Nothing group.
Yeah. Giving
We're
things
on the
away.
Facebook Marketplace, listing things for sale, giving things away, stopping at the consignment store. We're redistributing
Mhm.
those things to keep the energy in our space clear, because Scorpio is opposite of Taurus. And Taurus is the place, really, the second house is also very Taurian. Taurus helps us to ground energy into the physical, everyday objects of our life.
Mhm.
This has energy to it because we have given it value. We have
Mhm.
grounded energy into it.
Mhm.
And when we ground and identify either via our ego
Mhm.
or our higher, more spiritual self, the things that make us comfortable, the things that give us pleasure, the things that allow us to feel secure,
Mhm.
those things take on energy. So by redistributing our things,
Okay.
we are creating more boundless space. This can also show up emotionally.
Mhm.
You can have a really terrible day, and somebody else can have a really terrible day, and the two of you can come together and hit all of each other's buttons, not knowing, like full scale not knowing, just knowing that your day sucked.
Mhm.
And then this other person shows up and hits all of your buttons, and they're hitting all of your buttons because they're doing the exact thing that they want somebody to do for them. and it's pushing all your buttons. So when we move into Sag season, that pressure
Mhm.
cooker
Mhm.
loosens up a little bit.
Good.
We've got more space.
Good.
There's less tightness. There can be a feeling of less oppressiveness.
Good. This all sounds good. Sounds like we're going down the right direction here. Yay.
And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter.
And he makes things bigger.
He does make things bigger. He makes things expansive. He's the bearer of grace.
Okay.
And one of the things that we learn through the transformative process of Scorpio is that grace is kind of the ultimate thing. It's why it's when you go through a metamorphosis, when you shed what no longer serves you,
Mhm.
that is the space that you find grace. Because the word sacrifice is rooted in sacred.
Mhm.
And what you're doing in Scorpio season is making sacred. You're sacrificing old ways of being,
Mhm.
and it makes your life more sacred.
Okay.
It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the reasons, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know I am very about the federal holiday that we are celebrating today in the United States. And I'm very about it due to the whitewashing that has happened around Indigenous genocide. And I spoke about that a lot last year. This year, I'm going to touch into the little educational lesson that our founding fathers were Masons.
Mhm.
And the Masons are astrologers. And one of the reasons that the fourth Thursday in November was chosen as the day of Thanksgiving is because Thursday is Thor's day.
Okay.
Thor, Jupiter, same dude, different pantheon.
Mhm.
And the fourth Thursday of November is always Sagittarius season.
Okay.
So it's a Thursday because Thor, Jupiter, is about abundance.
Okay.
It's about well-being. It's about grace. It's about optimism. It's about meeting here in the Northern Hemisphere, here in America, because this is our holiday, a cold season, a oftentimes non-growth season with optimism and hope and really reveling in the abundance.
Okay. That makes sense.
So little Sagittarius history. I think that's what we're gonna do today.
Okay.
I have a whole list of stuff for us.
All right. So there'll be more content to come.
More content to come. We're working on being better. We took a vacation. It was wonderful. Women's Circle will be open for December. That is always fun. That is nationwide. Leave us your questions, your comments, your dedications, your requests. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.